Welcome back, my little recusants. We are here with Snow, and oh my goodness, it has been so long. It's like, what even does he have equipped? Well, he currently has equipped the power circle. It drastically increases his physical attack, not so much his magical. And we've quite a good few bits of components. But I'm going to tell you now and forewarn you now. This was a foolish decision. We get a amazing weapon / trench coat for Snow later on. So don't do what I do. Don't spend all your lovely resources on upgrades because, you know, it's stuff that could have been better spent. But look it, I've done it now. It's too late. And I mean, getting a little bit of extra strength. Like, the Crystarium can only do so much. Like, a huge amount of it is also in your equipment. And like that, we've raised him by like another 30 points, which is like a bunch of level ups in the Crystarium. So, as you know, Snow has the Sentinel ability. But they're basically like, you only have 2 characters and you kind of want to use Sentinels to draw aggro to allow like a Commando and Ravager or Commando and Medic to not take all of the damage. But in like a party of 2 situation, with Hope, who only has like Ravager capabilities, it's like you need to leave him as a Commando to actually do damage. But like look at this, right? Snow has been taking absolute pummeling from all of these different soldiers, and he still has about double the HP of Hope. Still, you know?
How about this?
But as you can see, his trench coat, like, iconography on the back, that's basically his weapon. His weapon is the designer label, literally. So with that, that's another battle down and dusted. And as you saw in the last episode, we like got all of his Crystarium done basically. So a good few of the battles I'm going to just skip over unless there's like unique enemies. But like the soldiers are the soldiers. We're just kind of getting reskins of enemies we fought in kind of the first chapter, really. Hope, if you were by yourself, you would die. But also, Snow, you are not really safe, bro. Like, this kid wants to kill you. I would be careful. And like, what's really, I suppose, heartbreaking is that Snow, in all of his dialogue, is so blissfully unaware of Hope's like hatred of him. Like, he literally says like, thanks partner and well done Hope, but he's like just super nice to him, and Hope is literally burning with rage and revenge. So not ideal. But I put up the status screen just to show you that essentially all Psycom enemies can drop Phoenix Downs or credit chips, basically. And credit chips sell for a lot of money. And now that we have the ability to buy our resources, both artificial and organic, finding a way to kind of grind up money makers like the credit chips, or even in rarer drops, incentive chips. I'm not sure if any of them are actually able to drop in this chapter. But basically, later on, I'm going to do a ton of grinding in a certain area, get a bunch of chips ready and done, and yeah, it's gonna be a wonderful kind of leveling up situation. Now, I used Quake because I was like, there's actually so many enemies that we're just getting overwhelmed, and poor Hope's getting overwhelmed. So like in this situation, it's literally like, okay, we just need to go into Sentinel to boost the defense of the whole party. What kind of a word did I just say there? boost the defense of the whole party, and then while we're in our defensive little turtling, we can actually take this time to let Hope put up our defensive buffs so we can better survive later on. Hope's AI is reading that like they're doing water attacks, so now we have like bar water, protect, and then we're just going to swap quickly back to a little bit more healing, and then it's going to be straight into, I suppose, War and Peace, just to allow for the fact that if Hope starts getting swarmed, he'll be able to heal himself. And then with a little bit of the AoE stuff, you see, this is where it's getting frustrating. Hope should be using like Fira, should be using like AoE spells. Like, he should just be using AoE attacks because we are surrounded. There are too many. And while it's like, yes, doing single spells, we're getting staggers, it's like we don't need staggers. We just need all the enemies to be taking damage. And essentially, the drops that we're getting at the moment are either Phoenix Downs for common drops, and you'll see here the incentive chip from these rarer white armored individuals instead of the typical yellow. The Psycom or Guardian Core humanoid enemies are handy moneymakers for this point in the game. This is showing you the turtle strategy. This is the, you can endure, you can survive, but you're probably not going to get 5 stars, and that's kind of the downside of the Sentinel. But at the same time, it's like, if you just had a party of 3, you could just be so much more offensive, because you know your tank is going to just be taking all of the damage. And we're just moving along nicely. And we see the red reskin of those big kind of justiciar guys. And we're just going to set up one other little paradigm here for our super soldier, just so we can kind of start off with those buffs. And then double checking that we have everything, which we do now with our water. And then after that, that's all of Snow's Crystarium finished with in one massive go. And Hope still has a ways to go with his, but that's fine. And yeah, just putting on a bit of a shroud for ourselves, because the big guy in red, you know, if I can have these little extra bits just to get rid of the yellow guys quickly. Now, we protect, we know that they only really do physical attacks, so getting rid of the 2 other guys here really quickly with haste. And now we can let Hope top up a little bit, but we have to Libra the Psycom Warlord. And you'll see me Libraing twice. That's basically because 1 Libra gives you some information, but 2 will definitely give you all of them for particularly hard enemies. Now, fighting them multiple times will get you that missing bit of information, but if you just want to get the information and know, and as you can see, his rare drop is actually like a transformation catalyst, they're called. So when you fully max out a weapon or a piece of armor, you need transformation catalysts to basically upgrade them to a higher tier of item or weapon. And so these guys were able to drop one of those. But just showing you the absolute power of haste. Like, just having that 1 buff speeds up battles entirely. Like, literally did that in half the time. And here we have a credit chip, so that can be sold for a nice little bit of money, and we can invest that money back into, you know, either raw materials or artificial materials, depending on which we have more of. But the graphics are stunning. Like, look at the ice. It's like we're back in the crystal frozen lake. So amazing. And as I say, if the battles are going to be just the same enemies,
It's just a part of Operation Nora.
yeah. Snow, you don't want to be a part of Operation Nora. Snow, this isn't good.
Switch, kiddo.
This is not good.
Thanks, partner.
And this is another kind of idea. So just get Snow, and as you can see with Steel Guard, when he starts taking loads of consecutive hits of damage, he can actually just outright block, so taking 0 damage, you know? And we can now use this to basically build up our buffs safely, and now that we have all of our buffs on, we can just go safely into the offensive without much worry. And like Hope's even taking like rockets and still surviving. And now we just have to provoke everybody again while Hope tops himself back up with some healing.
Follow my lead.
And then back to just taking out this guy. In hindsight, there's probably the issue of all those yellow guys are doing so much damage. And like, since Hope again isn't using AoE spells, it's really a big frustration, to be honest, because if he just threw a couple of fires, it would be grand. But alas, they're weak to thunder, so the AI is like, oh, we'll just prioritize shooting thunders at them. And in fairness, when we get the thunders done, like, the enemies aren't really surviving. So like, it is working. It's not that it isn't working, it's just, it could be so much more efficient if we just did like the raw version of spells, you know? But just up here, after this particular fight, that's why I left it in, just so it didn't kind of go amiss. This particular fight has a great weapon for Snow called the Paladin. And it basically is an improved guard. So it just makes his Sentinel role all the more useful. So don't waste all your materials, don't be like me. Oh, I was so frustrated that I spent all those materials leveling up like something that I'm like, oh, I'm now not going to use it anymore. So the improved guard enhances the effectiveness of Mediguard and Steel Guard. And we've topped up a bit more in CP, so let's keep Hope leveling up. And he's eventually going to learn that new spell.
You in danger, girl.
Yeah, the right moment to kill Snow. Snow, he's wanting to kill you. I know he's a 14-year-old child. And, you know, the argument could be made, you know, Snow's in a very perilous circumstance. Hope could just not heal him. But I think it's the gravitas and the dramatic of like, yeah, no, they don't get to kill you. I get to kill you. And with your fiance's knife too. God, it's so dark when you think about it. But yeah, like, we have now two of the like little mooks, Bazooka, and the like big guy. So this is actually a pretty tough fight. So I left it in just to give you guys a bit of guidelines, to give you guys guidelines and to give you guys guidance. And then I ended up with like, I don't know what I was going to say there. Anyway, moving on and rambling on. We're just going to get rid of all the extra ones and then just be able to like focus down the big red guy.
You see that? How about this?
But it is good to have Snow back, and what's nice is that from now on, we're only going to be gathering party members. We're never going to be losing any more. Which is nice, because there's kind of been, like Snow has literally been forgotten, and I suppose this was kind of his big renaissance, his big resurgence back into the story. I'm just really highlighting the strength that he brings to the table, with just the fact that like he does just have so much hit points, and at the very least as party leader he is the least likely to end up KO'd if you keep him with like powerful medics like Vanille or Lightning around, you know, and Hope obviously as well.
How about this?
And looking at Launch just doing absolute work as well, like completely neutralizing a target. They're like made completely useless and redundant. And following that sweet, sweet sound of the treasure chests, we're gonna run up into a cutscene, so I will chat to you guys later after that.
We're almost there. You've changed, haven't you? Seems like you've toughened up.
I'm a lessee. I had to.
Yeah, the only ones that ought to be fighting the army are us dumb grown-ups.
You think it's stupid to fight?
It is if you get killed. Anyway, just lay low. Let the dummies duke it out. The army's no match for Nora, right?
He was smiling.
It's me. What's up?
You damn well know what's up!
Why haven't you called in?
Sorry, slipped my mind.
Ugh, right. What's your status?
Great, great. Hope's great too. Are you all right?
I'm great, you're great, everybody's great. Reunion time. What? Figure out a rendezvous point. Don't sweat it. That line's hyper-encrypted.
Hey, sis. Is that you?
I'm not your sister.
This city's under our jurisdiction. We're the ones defending it. We should have a say in what's done to protect it.
Attention all units. Ignore all fire zone restrictions. Fire at will.
What?
Whatever it takes to kill the lessee. Over.
Whatever it takes. You want to start a war in the streets? Civilians are still evacuating. The collateral we're talking about is unacceptable. You don't know what it's like out there.
You don't understand why we're here. Who do you think it is? Terrified of Pulse and begging us to kill on the sea. It's not the Sanctum. It's not us. It's the people.
We'll meet at Hope's place. Felix Heights, 35A.
Right. See you there. Tell Fang hey.
Take care of Hope.
All over it. And I'll tell you more about Sarah when we meet up. I found out she can turn back. There's still hope.
Snow, listen to me. It's about Hope. His mother was...
It's me.
Hope? Hope! Answer me! Hope!
Yelling doesn't fix it. It's called interference. You can chit-chat when we get there. I've got point. You fall in behind. And see if you can't cool off that head of yours.
So we are playing as a brand new character. Fang as the leader. So what paradigms does she even have? So she is a Commando, Sentinel and Saboteur. So quite varied roles. And she already has so much of her Crystarium already filled. And she's just going through her Saboteur at the moment. And I'm just basically rushing for that accessory slot. So you just look through the list of stuff and be like, accessory? Yeah, we're getting that. Now, Fang differs from Vanille in that Vanille affects their defensive stats. As a Saboteur, she lowers their defenses, magical defenses, and things like that. Fang slows their ATB, makes them not able to do physical attacks, make them not able to do magical spells, things like that. It's a much more different type of, I suppose, interference. It's a lot of different negative statuses that she puts on. And so you can see here, Sloga, a big AoE debuff. So instead of just casting 3 slows on one target, it's just, we're actually getting 4 casts of slow over the 4 different targets. And the problem is, it's not seeming to have landed at all. But we can have Lightning as a Ravager, and we can have our character Fang as a Commando. Fang, one of the only characters to not have the Ravager class naturally, actually. Which is interesting. Yeah, literally every single other character can have the Ravager class. But she has the Saboteur class instead. I suppose if she had Ravager, she would literally just be an exact carbon copy of Snow. And I suppose what's interesting as well is the fact that since Fang, is that why Vanille is the only other Saboteur? Was the game telling us from the beginning Vanille was having some sort of subterfuge, some sort of, undermining towards Cocoon Society this entire time? Is the game that clever? I think it is. You know what I mean? In all the levels of game design and things like that. And slow is an underrated debuff. it just makes them so much slower to attack. And it's just like, look how many attacks, like we're after getting about 2 different rounds of attacks in and he's still done nothing. So do not undervalue the benefits of having slow. And we're actually just gonna full on just skip that fight. I'm just like, yeah, no, wanna keep going.
Who are you?
Where do I start? I've got a few screws loose, but I'm a lessee, same as you.
Hmm?
Difference being, I wasn't born on Cocoon.
What?
I'm from Grand Pulse, the world below you all hate so much. My partner and I turned a crystal there and gone to sleep. But when we came around, here we were. The reason Cocoon's in such an uproar is the same reason you're here now. Vanille and I woke up.
Evacuation protocol. We will be moved to a secure location.
It's looking like another purge, you know?
The Sanctum follows Foul Sea orders. It's not just after the sea. They'll target civilians and purge everyone who's a threat.
More innocents get killed.
You can't take the blame for that.
Someone has to.
We can still save them. We let loose and bring the army to us.
Draw their fire.
I'm supposed to protect you. I can't let this happen.
These army guys.
It's a tough call, that's for sure. Only one choice, I guess. I try to save everyone. So, Hope, are you with me on this? You just need to look out for yourself.
Snow trying to save everyone and trying to get the best outcome. You could end up jeopardizing everyone and losing everything. So not ideal. But that's going to be our episode, guys. And I will chat to you at the next one.
Here goes nothing.